Hello, this is Gerald Johan van Waas and the Educational Channel in support of the book Sound in Form and the theory behind it. The theory which is also found in the first volume, the separate volume, The Development of the Word, and some extras are in the application of the word. The book is about a system that is developed during the development of the words chapter, and it is about a system of the letter combinations in words which you can learn to understand. You can learn to change them into forms. You can recognize how they are built up and how they are really describing the words as they are, as how they are. What the content is meant in it is recognizable. So there are directions. The combination of letters are directions, and there are directions of orientations in time and space. There are also different layers how you can understand them. There's a system behind it. This system is very simple, straightforward. It's geometrical, and there are some associations there because of the places in time and space that they have. And you can learn this system. Here you can learn it gradually by seeing all the aspects in the development of the word. That's the more complicated thing, but you have to learn it gradually. In this video I will have one example, which is actually a word that I thought this morning, okay, I will take this word, let's see where it leads it to, and it leads actually to a very simple simple form, a simple to understand association based upon the theory, and that's nice, that's fine. So let's do that. Let's use the word camp. So immediately when I draw the picture, I didn't have to do much. This is the result. That's the camp which has been developed here. How is it built up? So you have the sea with which takes a certain distance, which is a certain distinction. Like you try to focus from a center point of vision. What shall I take? What point of reference point shall I take? It is within a certain range. I can make a choice where to put a new center. That's actually more or less what is the C. The A is always a center point of what starts from there. As you can see, it's always designed more or less like this. The M, okay, I'll put the M around it. It's the materialization process that forms itself around this center, so I can use it like that. And the P also, we know it's a process that comes forth from a situation, and something is being pulled out of, comes out of the process. It can also be drawn or designed literally, as you can see. And simply by expressing these letters together, you come to this form. It actually expresses a camp very well. But let's make it a little bit more difficult. Even if it really fits perfectly with all the letters and letter combinations, let's show it from a different layer. Because I already told you before, the underlying structure is also that of placing something in time and space. And therefore there's a structure behind it, a theory behind it, and I will tell you what the structure is. The structure can be derived to this scheme, more or less. So you have a couple of letters that are in the three-dimensional space, have a reference there as a 1, 2 or 3-dimensional reference point. Then you also have a couple of letters that fit with changes, with moves in time, so that you can express them like this. It is also with a 1-dimensional, 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional frame, which you could see from the totality of dimensions, and then it will be a bit more complicated, but just see them as 1, 2 or 3 dimensions with a reference point as in space. And the last couple of letters, they are of the refocus. I call them re or re even, because it is refocusing back in time, back to the space, back to the development, and you go back. Actually, it's the whole process the other way around. You are trying to find your points of references in time and space by giving the right answer after having the question first. It is not what I'm going to explain now, because the word camp is not has no reference points in the last region of reference points, so it's luckily a little bit more easy to start with. So where are the letters that I can use? I can associate and see this layer of reality of it and of association with it, that you can understand from this level as well. So let's pick out the letters. The letters here can be found in the system, the A, the C, the M, and then the P. So there are three letters in a three-dimensional reference, as in reference or frame, let's say, and only the last letter is the time frame or the moving frame. It is so. Then you can already understand and already associate very easily that we have three letters in the three-dimensional space and then something that moves. So that means we can move something from the totality in the three-dimensional space elsewhere in time or in space, as you like. That you can already recognize it. So the camp is something in the three-dimensional space of something that we shall move. That's already recognizable from here, just from the letters. And I can put these reference points into dimensional associations. That's this layer that I will explain now. So the first letter, the C, will be in the three-dimensional space. The third part, as you can see there, it's in the three-dimensional space. The A, T, K are the one-dimensional, U, L, B, the two-dimensional, the C, M, X, the three-dimensional reference point that you need. So in the C is on the horizontal plane of a three-dimensional reference. The 1D is on the horizontal plane. So in one-dimensional, the A is in the one-dimensional plane on the horizontal plane. Now it's still abstract, but I will show you immediately that it's not so difficult. And the next letter is the M, so it's in the three-dimensional plane on the vertical plane. And the last couple of letters, let's associate them just with time or with the four-dimensional frame. And what do I have there? We are moving something or changing something, like in the third part is always about change, and we change it in the vertical plane. So that's what we have. So it's now time to, of course, associate it with how the reference points in the three-dimensional space, and let's draw it. Let's draw it in the three-dimensional cube, let's say, and show these reference points. So here's the cube, and I'll have on the horizontal plane, which can be actually anywhere in the cube, but it's a spatial orientation, the three-dimensional on the horizontal plane. So let's put it there on the horizontal plane. On that plane I will put a point, a lines or alignment or a reference point there. Then we will connect it to the next letter, the A. It's in one dimensional, so it's just a point, so it's our point of reference on the horizontal plane as well. So we have the starting point on the horizontal plane that we have in a three-dimensional space, because that was our starting point. What we'll do next, we'll have the M. The M will add a vertical plane in this frame, and of course it will receive, like that, it will receive a certain spatial sizing as a shade, so there will be a spatial reference point of something that is formed there with the M, as you can see. With the last letter, the P, it will have, of course, go into the four-dimensional frame, so it will be about movement, about movements in time. And just to keep it very simple, I will say have the reference point of movement in time simply as an association with where is it in my system. It's on the vertical plane, so something will move in a time frame in the vertical direction. So the movement is that aspect which changes in time. So our conclusion is, of course, kamp can be recognized because it is a rising up. Even if you go from what we have as a totality and the center point as a reference point that we have there, it is in the rise. So there is a building up of a kamp which is recognizable. The rising up is also in a time frame and a spatial time frame. So it's a building up of the kamp can be recognized in these words. Now if I compare, this is almost, it is exactly what it is described in the reference point, and it's exactly what the kamp is in the English word. Is it the same for other languages? When I have the reference points of the Dutch word kamp, this word kamp is written differently. It's written with a K. Does this make a difference? Yes, it does. Here the K is on the same plane, so there's not much difference, but this K is a breaking point of change. Well, the change is very important, so it is a change, a decisive changing point, a point that we try to focus upon and try to organize and try to understand and make the right decision where to move the change. So this reference point is not starting from a central point where we start from. It starts from an undecisive point. What shall we do here? So the kamp in that association is more like not the rising and putting up a kamp from a center as with the sea. No, here it is a temporarily setting up or breaking up of a kamp. It's more that contemporary aspect is more dominant, but the forms themselves, as I follow into the letters, are the same. It's only the starting point is more like, oh, no, we're not building up a kamp. It's also this kamp is used in Dutch in several associations. It's breaking up people because we have different opinions. We are in camps, they say. So they have different camps, different opinions. You have to make a choice. Where is it? Where is that kamp? It's dividing the things a little bit. So like, what is the decision? So it's used a little bit differently. So the C is clearly starting from a spatial orientation. The K is more clearly starting from a distinction. While all the rest is building up into the three-dimensional, the starting point is slightly different. Now to make things just slightly more complicated, because until here it's so clear that it will be clear for everybody, but we can also look up words. Do they always have the same meanings or the same reference points? And that's the most difficult thing about this theory, is you have one reference point of the geometrical references, and then you also have the underlying elements that say, why is this point starting from here, where is it going to, and you have a few other associations possible from there that you really have to understand. Why is the K there? Why is the A there? If there's an A there, we have a center point of vision, and we start from there, and we are sure what we have, and we act with that, like with the that's where there is an A involved, for instance. So we have a certainty. K is the uncertainty, so we don't know where it is, we don't know what to do with it, so it will be used differently. That, for instance, with the C, which also gives a wide spread of variations what you can do with it, but this uncertainty is not there. It starts from a center, it goes a bit away from the center, but it will not be something completely that we don't know what we're doing. So what do we do with the word in the description of camp as the kitsch movement in art? So of course I have to analyze it a bit. Why is this? Because we already associate with the rising or the putting up a setting or settlement of a camp. And here it seems as if the camp here, it is of course something built up, something contemporary, but it is as if it's built up in a whim, a temporary setup. It's almost like a cynical association that this is a camp. Okay, we have here a camp. Certainty is it has something that it does not last forever. So this choice is not associated with this central point of vision that we have something and we can keep it. The camp itself is something that is movable. It's actually always like that. So the real center point that is also centered from C, not just from A, but also from C. We almost forgot the reason. There are variations, and these variations are always open. It's not something I designed before, but this C, if you go deeper into it, what is it about, where is it in the system, and so on. It is away from the center. It's also in the changeable position. It's changeable and not certain where exactly it always should be. So in that way, why the art is derived from a concept, not today anymore, but at least that used to be, that when starting with the letter A, it started from something of a one vision and with certain variations. The kitsch part, which is got much more contemporary and as if you can change it all the time, and that's a different kind of vision. These are already further associations. I hope it doesn't confuse more just to add this extra thing here. But once you understand camp from a geometrical point of view, you also have to look a few more extra times, like why is this letter there, what can it do, and how can we associate it with all the association that we can have from here. Is another it's another layer which is a little bit more difficult to use, to explain, and so on. But that's something I had to add and mention, that it's not always that easy as the geometrical forms that from the previous descriptions showed in these screens shots. So sorry for that. It is not immediately clear why camp, as a temporary place where something has been built up, might not be immediately clear why this word is used there, except in a cynical way. That maybe this is also a camp. It's this contemporary place, and this contemporary thing is more clear because of where the C is in this system. Anyhow, I still hope it was clear how this was built up, how camp was built up with a C, and how camp was built up with a K, and the extra associations. Okay, it's the dangerous territory if we do that right, but I hope that was already clear enough. You can think about it further if you want. You will get to it with the elements I already gave you. Anyhow, thanks for watching. This was Gerald Johan van Waas. There's a website too. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel if you like, for more instructions, more examples and demonstrations. Thanks again. Bye.